Test 3 review, questions 39 to 43. So when you have fractional exponents, it means you need to do the radical sign, okay? And whatever number goes down here, goes here in the corner. And when we have a 2, we don't really write the 2. We write everything else, just not the 2. So then we just go, okay, square root of 9 means what times what is 9? 3. Okay, so this means radical sign because it's fractional. Then whatever this is, we put here. So we have to use, where's the button? This button here that's yellow. And it says put a 6 here and 729. Oops. So that means what times what times what times what times what equals 7, oops, times what? 729. 3. So if I go 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, it's equal to 729. So this is, when we have fractions here, we can just separate it. So the question mark, 41. I just separate it into like 2 separate questions. So here, because it's a fractional exponent, I'm going to do the radical sign, and whatever's here is going to go there. It's a fractional exponent, so I do a radical sign, and whatever's there goes there. So then, I can just go, okay, use that button, and I go 3 third root of negative 64. So that means what times what equals negative 64? Negative 4. And then on the bottom, 3 third root of 27, 3. There, that's it. Let's look at the next one. So here, because it's a fractional exponent, I'm going to do a square root and put that 2 there, but we don't need to write the 2 when we have a radical sign. So now it says the square root of a negative number. When we have the square root, like a 2, we can't take the square root of a negative number and get a real number. So our answer should be not a real number. Okay? And maybe in other math courses you'll learn how to deal with this. But right now, when we take the square root of this, it's not a real number, so we don't do it. Okay, so 43 is kind of complicated and messy, but really what they want you to do is just to find each one, the answer of each one. So let's look at A. So we're going to separate the top and the bottom. Now the bottom number is the square root, and the top number is like the cube, the power. So this is the square root. I don't have to write a 2, so when there's a 2 I don't have to write it. So the square root of 25 is 5, because what times what is 25? 5. What times what is 64? 8. Then 5 times 5 times 5 is 125, and 8 times 8 times 8 is, I don't know. There. So that's the answer for this one. What question am I on? 43. Let's see. So it says, I just printed out the question. So it says here, so I'd put my answer is E for this one. Okay, let's do the next one. So this negative means move it to the other side. So the one on the bottom is going to go up, and the one on the top is going to go down, like that. So then I write the same thing. So now I'm going to separate it. You don't have to write all the steps that I'm doing. I'm just doing every step just so you understand. So this is the square root, and this is my power. So the square root of 64 is 8, because 8 times 8 is 64. Square root of 25 is 5. And so we did that here. That's 5, 1, 12. And 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So now my answer for that is here. That's G. So I'd type in a G for this one. Okay, let's do the next one. So I'm just going to ignore this negative and put it in at the end. And I'll try and remember. So 64, put a negative in. Then I'm going to, this means square root, and this is my power. This means square root, and this means power. Put my negative back in, don't forget it. Square root of 64 is 8. Square root of 25 is 5. Put my negative back in, don't forget it. So the 8 cubed is 512, and this is 125, and put my negative in the front. So this negative just means do everything the same, but put the negative in the front. So now it would be H. So I'm going to put an H here in my answer. Last one. So let's ignore the negative here for now, because this fractional exponent is only on the stuff in the brackets. So this negative means please move it to the other side. So if 64 is on the bottom, it's now on the top. This is now on the bottom. Like this. So now put the negative back in the front, because I don't want to forget it. So now I separate them. Put my negative back in, I don't want to forget it. So this 2 is the square root, and the one up top is the power. This 2 is the square root, and what's up top is the power, and put my negative back in. So there's what times what is 64? 8. What times what is 25? 5. Put my negative back in. And we know this, 8 times 8 times 8 is 512. And this is 125 negative. Oh, it's the same. Just wait. Is it supposed to be the same? It says yes, you can use them more than once. So here it says choices may be used once or more than once or not at all. So our answer is going to be the same again, and I'm going to use H again. So that's okay. So it's okay to have two answers the same.